Hi, English for the workplace. This is what the second unit says on improve your connectivity. Communicative English, lesson 2. So, in this unit, the thematic topic is English for the workplace. So, when you work, the words that you use, the plenty of areas where you need to explore on the vocabulary. Begin with, let's discuss on the language study of this unit. To become familiarized with a language, you should know a lot of words. So start improving your vocabulary, increase the number of words that you know. And today, let's explore what these words are. Geologist, anthropologist, zoologist, entomologist, astronomer, bibliophile, Anglophile, botanist, psychiatrist, philanthropist, etymologist, psychologist. You would have heard all these words. There are minute differences in these words, and so let's discuss what these words mean. First, geologist. Geologist refers to a person who studies about Earth. Anthropologist refers to a person who studies about human behavior and origin of human society. Zoologist is a person who studies about animals. Entomologist refers to a person who studies about insects. Astronomers are persons who deal with celestial bodies like stars, sun, and other heavenly bodies. Bibliophile is a person who is a great lover of books. Anglophile is a person who loves English. Botanists are the persons who study about plants. Psychiatrist refers to a person who treats mental disorder. Philanthropist is a person who is generous, who contributes a lot for social cause. Etymologist is an interesting word, a person who studies about words, roots and origin of words. Psychologist. You should know the difference between a psychiatrist and psychologist. Psychiatrist is a person who treats mental disorder. Psychologist is a person who deals with psychology and he gives counseling and not treatment. Foreign words. English is a language where we come across plenty of words borrowed from many other languages. Most of the words, like even from mango, comes from Tamil mangai. Catamaran became catamaran. So lots of words have originated from Tamil, like sambar, idli, etc., etc. But there are few terms which are prominent in newspapers which you have to know, and these are the foreign words that you should definitely use when you write, and we should help others by telling them the meaning of these foreign words. Shall we read them? First, ad hoc, sine die, alma mater, incognito, eureka, extempore, habeas corpus. So shall we use them in? First one, ad hoc means for this purpose. This amount is for ad hoc, means it's totally allotted for specific purpose. Sine die, the match has been postponed. Sine die, without assigning a day, which means the match will be held, but when it will be held is not known to anyone. Some court cases will be adjourned sine die, without நாள் குறிப்பிடப்படாமல் ஒத்தி வைக்கப்பட்டதுன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. That means sine die. Alma mater, I say I am an alma mater of this college. So alma mater means formerly attended college or school. Incognito, most of you would have heard about incognito mode in browsing history. When you browse, when you don't want the number of sites that you visit to be frequently noted, you go in a mode called as incognito, which means private session, or in other words we call it as in disguise. Eureka is a term by Albert Einstein, where it means I have found it. Most of the newspaper says eureka, a medicine for COVID. Eureka means we have found a medicine. extempore, extempore speeches, extempore competitions, which means on the spot. Extempore means without much preparation. Habeas corpus, which means a writ to bring someone to the court. So habeas corpus means ஒரு ஆளை டைரக்டா வந்து சமர்ப்பிக்கணும். So it is called as habeas corpus. These words appear in newspapers regularly. I think hereafter you will easily understand what they are. There are plenty of words related to each fields. These are called as semantic fields. Every field, if it is gold, we call as sovereign, carrot, etc., etc. If it is sports, we call it as a ground, court, sportsman, athlete, javelin. Lots of terms that connect to sports. Likewise, commerce. But today, we are going to see some words which are related to education. An activity for you is try writing few fields like sports, arts, weather, journalism, commerce, etc. and try to collect words related to such fields. For us, I am just going to explain to you words related to education. The first word that we're going to use is pedagogy. This word is often used in all communication related to education. Pedagogy means nothing but a method of teaching. Everyone has their own method. So we call it as teaching pedagogy. Didactics. Didactics refers to the science of teaching. So the field refers to as didactics means science of teaching. Vocational, there's two types of education, a general stream, the occasional stream. So occasional education means they are related to occupation. The students will be given occupational competency skills. So the skill will be mostly based on employment. So such is called as vocational training. Mentor. Mentor means a person who guides a younger or a less experienced person. So a mentor is like a leader, a guide who helps us in doing our work. Intramural activities. Most of the colleges and schools will have intramural activities or intramural competitions, intramural sports meet. What do they mean? It means the activities within an institution. Often repeated word in teaching terminology is holistic approach. What does it mean of holistic? Holistic means dealing something as a whole and not just as a part. When you try to teach something, it should be contained for all the people. So it's called holistic. In this unit, we have tenses. I know the term tenses gets you tensed because right from 6th standard, you say present tense, past tense, future tense, present continuous, past continuous, future continuous. All these tenses keeps you tensed, isn't it? So in this textbook, they have just given you simple exercises which you can fill and learn tenses at ease. Tenses, like we have different types of tenses, basically the present tense, past tense and future. And then it's subdivided as progressive, present progressive, past progressive, future progressive, then present perfect, past perfect and future perfect, and present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous and future perfect continuous. So in English, how you speak is more important, and whether you can communicate to the person correctly is equally important. So your sentences must be grammatically correct, and you cannot use a statement like I went tomorrow. It should be like I'll go tomorrow, I went yesterday, I'll go today. So you should apply the correct word in the correct form of verb. Since you are 12th standard children and you are in the special communicative English group, hope you know all the rules of English grammar related to tenses. Just I wish to reinstate a few points. For the first tense, the simple present. Simple present tense must be used when you say proverbs. A stitch in time saves 9. 2 and 2 makes 4. First, let's see simple present tense. Simple present tense will be used in habitual actions. What do you mean by habitual actions? The things that you do every day. I usually get up at 5:30 a.m. So I say I usually get up. I don't say I got up at 5:30. Similarly, I'm getting up at 5:30 சொல்லக்கூடாது. We should always use I usually get up at 5:30. So the daily activities, regular activities will always be using the first tense, the simple present tense. Likewise, the words like often, seldom, rarely, usually, all these keywords will be used with simple present tense. And simple present tense will be used in all proverbs. Most of the proverbs will have the simple present tense structure. Then when do we use the continuous form? Continuous forms are also called as progressive forms. Now, the temporary actions, I am standing now. I am teaching you this unit. We are learning the second unit of Communicative English. We are watching an episode. இப்போ நடந்துகிட்டு இருக்க விஷயங்கள். Now அப்படின்ற word, now அப்படின்ற அந்த word எங்கெல்லாம் யூஸ் பண்றோமோ அப்போ ing form கண்டிப்பா வரும். So we say we are watching a movie now. Next is the simple future tense. Simple future. என்ன word keyword? Tomorrow. Next. I will see you next week. Let's meet tomorrow. So நாளைக்கு. So இந்த மாதிரி சொல்லும்போது the tomorrow இந்த மாதிரி words எல்லாமே future indicator. Tomorrow and next. So these are future indicators. So I'll say I will teach you this in the next lesson. So I use I will and shall both refers to the future form. So simple present, simple past, simple future பார்த்தோம் and present continuous form பார்த்தோம் இல்லையா. Next we see simple past tense. எப்போ simple past யூஸ் பண்ணுவோம்? Activities or actions that has completed. I read a book yesterday. I saw him a few days back. So in the back, ago, long ago, there lived a king. So story narration la simple past tense. Eppo past continuous will be used? Past continuous tenses will always, past continuous tense will be used when two actions simultaneously happened. When I was watching the movie, he entered. While my mom was preparing food, the mobile rang. So while, when, இப்படி ரெண்டு ஆக்ஷன் நடக்கும் பொழுது ஒரு ஆக்ஷனை ஐஎன்ஜியில் போடுவோம். And then நேத்து இந்த நேரத்தில், yesterday at this time. So I was watching an episode yesterday at this time. So நேத்து இந்நேரத்துக்கு பண்ணும்போது அப்போ you use past continuous tense. Then past perfect எப்போ யூஸ் பண்ணுவோம்? Had plus verb past participle form. I had seen this movie. Appo I had already seen this movie. So the key word will be already. I had already seen this movie. அப்படின்னு யூஸ் பண்ணுவோம். I had seen this movie long before. எப்பவோ பார்த்துட்டேன். So the long before, already இதெல்லாம் தான் வந்து we use it only with past perfect. When I reached the railway station, the train had already left. நான் போகும்போது ட்ரெயின் ஏற்கனவே போயிடுச்சு. ஸோ அந்த ஹேட் ஆல்ரெடி லெஃப்ட். அதே ப்ரெசன்ட் டென்ஸில் எப்படி சொல்லுவோம்? ப்ரெசன்ட் பர்ஃபெக்டில் ஐ ஹாவ் சீன் யூ சம்வேர். நான் உங்களை பார்த்துருக்குறேன். எப்போ பார்த்துருக்குறேன்? ஸோ ஐ ஹாவ் சீன் யூ சம்வேர். ஒரு ரீசன்ட் மூவி, ஐ ஹாவ் சீன் திஸ் மூவி ரீசென்ட்லி. இந்த ரீசென்ட்லின்ற ஃபார்ம் வரும்போது தான் ப்ரெசன்ட் பர்ஃபெக்ட். எப்போவோ பார்த்ததுன்னா பாஸ்ட் பர்ஃபெக்ட். Now remember, future perfect tense, there is a structure grammatically in traditional form. But we don't use it. We will not say I will have seen you. நாளைக்கு இந்நேரம் உன்னை பார்த்திருப்பேன். We don't use that. So it's because it's not a predictable. So we don't use future perfect tense and future perfect continuous tense also. Then when do we use present perfect continuous and past perfect continuous? Present perfect continuous எப்படின்னா some actions that we started earlier and still it is going. I'm saying I have been teaching this episode for the past 10 minutes. For and since. I say I have been teaching this lesson for the past 15 minutes. So the present perfect continuous and past perfect continuous, we have a doubt whether where do we use it and how do we use it. So present perfect continuous அப்படின்னா ஒன்றும் இல்லை, ஏற்கனவே ஆரம்பிச்சு இப்போ வரைக்கும் நடந்துகிட்டு இருக்க விஷயம். For example, I have been teaching for the past 10 minutes. So for the past 10 minutes, then it has been raining since morning. காலையிலிருந்தே மழை பெய்து கொண்டே இருக்கிறது. That means it has not yet stopped. It started in the morning. It is still in progress. Still in progress actions க்கு தான் we use present perfect continuous tense. Then when do we use past perfect continuous? Some actions that started in the past, it has been running for a period of time and it stopped before. If I'll give you a sentence, you'll get it very clearly. You will understand clearly. He had been working in that firm for 2 months. He had worked there. அப்படினா you just want to say அவர் வேலை பார்த்து முடிச்சிட்டார். ஆனா he had been working on this project. இந்த ப்ராஜெக்ட்ல 2 மாசம் வேலை பார்த்து கொண்டே இருந்தார். Now he is not working in it. He has stopped it. So to specify that, we use past perfect continuous tense. Just see, simple present, I study English. Simple past, I studied English. Simple future, I will study English. Next, past continuous, I was studying English yesterday by this time. Next, present continuous tense, I am studying English now. இப்போ படிச்சிட்டு இருக்கேன். Then future continuous tense, I'll be studying English lessons tomorrow by this time. நாளைக்கு இந்நேரம் படித்து கொண்டிருப்பேன். Next, simple presentல அடுத்த version பாருங்க, present perfect. I have studied this English lesson recently. That is, I have studied this lesson recently. Next, I had studied this English lesson already before a month. I had already completed this lesson. I had already read this English poem. அப்போ இங்க already அப்படினு இருக்கனால first let's go on with the next column. The first is present continuous tense. I am studying an English poem now. I was studying an English poem yesterday by this time. I will be studying English poem tomorrow by this time is future continuous. இப்போ we are going to see present perfect tense. Present perfect tense na, I have studied this poem recently. அண்மையில படித்திருக்கிறேன். ஸோ ஞாபகம் இருக்கு. ஆனால் மறந்துட்டீங்க, எப்போ படிச்சதுன்னா past perfectக்கு போயிடணும். I had already studied this poem long before. I had already studied this poem before 2 weeks. இப்போ கவனிங்க, ஃபியூச்சர் பர்ஃபெக்ட் டென்ஸ்னு ஒன்று கிடையவே கிடையாது. ஃபியூச்சரில் பர்ஃபெக்டாக நடக்கும்னு எதையும் சொல்ல முடியாது. ஸோ நம்ம கம்யூனிகேஷனில் we do never use future perfect tense. ஸ்ட்ரக்சர்லாம் இருக்குது. I will have studied this poem. ஆனால் we don't use it in practical usage. Next, present perfect continuous. I have been studying this unit since morning. காலையிலிருந்தே இதை படிச்சிட்டு இருக்கேன். I had been studying this unit yesterday for 2 hours. நேத்து 2 மணி நேரம் இதை படிச்சுக்கிட்டே இருந்தேன். So I had been using. Again, futureல perfect continuous tense கிடையாது. So இந்த tense usage வச்சு you can do all the activities in the textbook. It is very, very easy and simple. Yes, for grammar we have completed the tenses and I think hope you would have done all the exercises in the book. Now let's continue with the next activity, listening. So for a change, you're going to do an activity along with me. Have you heard of cricket commentaries? Yes. And have you ever listened to there will be an anchor giving commentary about the actions that are being done on the stage. And so today I am going to read a passage about a Republic Day parade of our country. Listen to the commentary on the Republic Day parade of our country at New Delhi and then answer the questions given. So shall we try this exercise? Now please listen to the passage carefully and then you have to answer them. Students, while doing a listening activity and comprehension activity, let me give you a small tip. Before listening to a passage and before reading a passage for comprehension, always go through the questions first, so that when you listen to it, you can notify the important points. Similarly, while comprehending a passage, a reading passage, read the questions first and then go to the passage. It will always be helpful to underline the key point which you can answer in the later questions. So first, let's see the questions here. there are dash commentators and they are speaking from dash New Delhi. So you have to note down how many commentators are there and then where are they speaking from. Rajpath is a dash path which means dash and runs through the heart of dash. So when you listen to the passage, kindly note down all these things. India's dash capability, dash and social heritage are dash in this grand parade. This year's Republic Day celebration is dash on account of the dash of 10 Asian leaders as dash of dash. So you have to just fill in these dashes. Now, are you ready to listen to the passage? Yes. Shall we proceed? Now, listen to the commentary on Republic Day celebrations and parade at New Delhi. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On this splendid morning, on behalf of the entire team of Radio India, this is Anita Rao, along with my fellow commentators, Yusuf Ahmed, Manoj Pandey, and our technical audio team, extending warm greetings to all the listeners on the occasion of the 69th Republic Day of India. And we welcome you to Rajpath, New Delhi, which literally means King's Way, the ceremonial path and one of the most important roads of India that runs through the heart of New Delhi and where the Republic Day parade takes place every year on the 26th of January. We are placed right next to the flower bedecked saluting dais from where our Honorable President, along with our Vice President, Prime Minister, and all the other dignitaries will view the parade, which showcases India's defense capability and its cultural and social heritage. The day is memorable on account of the presence of the 10 Asian leaders who will be amidst us today as chief guests to honor the day when the Constitution of India came into force. My fellow commentator Yusuf is here to share with you the proceedings of the day. So we have seen the grammar skills. Now next, we are moving on to speaking skill. So speaking skill means we have to involve in speaking activities. And in this unit, they have given us an interesting role play activity. What do you mean role play? What do you mean by that? Role play, Abdina, you assign yourself a role, for example, a doctor and a patient. In this unit, there is an imaginary interview between a reporter and Anil Sharma. Just take roles and play the entire conversation and enjoy. Next, the task 1 is you are a reporter from the magazine First Line. Interview Colonel Ratnadeep from the Indian Army, who was awarded Shaurya Chakra for gallantry this year. So what questions can you ask her? Remember, you should ask Colonel's early childhood, education, interest in armed forces, career, exposure, experiences, awards and achievements, and what is Colonel Ratna's message to the youth. So you have to frame questions, and one should play as the interviewer and the other should play as Colonel Ratnadeep. So gather more information about Colonel and try role playing this task. Moving on to writing activity. In the first unit, we practice writing letter to the editor, but this unit is English for the workplace. So to get work, to get a job, definitely we need to apply for it. So this unit deals with job application. An application for a job has two components. The first important thing is a good covering letter, which is a prescribed formal letter, which means a letter that accompanies the biodata or a resume or a curriculum vitae. So now let's know the difference between what is a resume, what is a biodata, and what is a curriculum vitae. A resume is nothing but a report of your studies and your experiences. It will be hardly a page, one page. A biodata carries your personal information, your academic qualification, and your experiences all in a prescribed format. Curriculum vitae is a detailed summary of your experiences in a chronological order, your achievements, and about your academics and your strengths and all your positive. You came across a vacancy for the post of an editor in a private publishing house. you feel you're eligible and decide to apply. Forward your application to the Human Resources Manager, the HR, of the publishing house along with your biodata. A biodata format is given in your textbook. Kindly go through it, fill it up, and you can apply it. So how should the letter be? A letter should have a covering letter which states that with reference to the advertisement, I wish to apply for the post of editor available in your private publishing house. So you can just write the name of the publishing house, and you have to detailedly explain to them that you have attached the copies of resume, your certificates, testimonials, all. So practice writing a letter and evaluate it. Remember, a job application is a formal letter sent along with the resume to give details about an applicant's personal information, qualifications, skills, and experience. An application for a job has two components. One, a covering letter. Two, a resume or a biodata or curriculum vitae. Filling in forms. When applying for a job or when writing examination, filling in forms is very important. And in this modern days, OMR sheets have taken place. Optical mark recognition sheets. First of all, the student should take several photocopies of the admission form before filling up the actual form. It would be best to practice on these photocopies first. Remember that a tampered OMR admission form cannot be scanned properly. Ensure that it is not folded. While filling in forms, always use a black or a blue ballpoint pen for filling the form. Most institutes specify the color of the pen to be used on the form. In few cases, pencils can be used for shading. Never use a stapler on the form. If you have to attach your photograph on the form, always do it with glue. Glue refers to any gum. The circles that you have to fill should be completely shaded. Light or half-filled circles would not be read by the scanner software. So this unit deals with English for the workplace. So definitely filling in forms will be very, very essential at all employment exchanges and offices. Like the first episode, wherein we dealt with the first unit, various books were suggested for improving your extensive reading skill, your love for language. And here we have a short set of books which are quite interesting. Vanity Fair by William Makepeace Thackeray is an interesting book which deals with story of Becky and Amelia during and after Napoleonic War. Do read it and enjoy the course of action. Professional Ethics and Human Values by M. Govindarajan, which is very important for learning. This book will help you in learning basic etiquette and training skills needed for any job. So Professional Ethics and Human Values is an interesting suggestion. Pygmalion is an interesting play, a humorous play which includes language, social status, and transformation. The Cockney accent to a stylish flower girl's transformation is interestingly narrated by G.B. Shaw. And the last book is Malgudi Days by R.K. Narayan. Our own, the best Indian author, R.K. Narayan's Malgudi Days, which is an imaginary village. The social status of a calm, serene village is explained, narrated in an interesting manner by R.K. Narayan in his Malgudi Days. Students, whenever you get time, whenever you are at ease, whenever you relax yourself, kindly download these ebooks or get copies of books and read them. And definitely, these books will help you in future. So with this, the second unit comes to an end. Thank you.